There was once a famous poet in the land to the far, far east. Now in his twilight years, his ability had withered such that he could no longer craft a single stanza or verse. The poor poet spent every moment racked with sorrow for what had been lost. But one day, a monk appeared by his side, gently placed a blade in his hand, and imparted the following words. Kill one by this blade for a poem, and two for two in kind, the likes of which will be more splendid than any this world has ever heard. Clinging to the monk's words, the man waited for the cover of darkness and cut down a man he had encountered by the roadside. The following day, he wrote the most beautiful poem, instantly reclaiming the fame and prosperity he had lost. The poet went on to kill two in succession. He killed one and wrote a poem. Then he killed another and wrote another, rising to almost dazzling levels of wealth and renown. But soon he became obsessed with knowing how splendid a poem he might write if he were to kill someone precious to him. He killed his wife and wrote a poem. He killed his children and wrote a poem for each. He moved through his estate, killing everyone there, writing and writing and writing and writing and writing. Eventually, he killed so many passers-by that the poems could not keep up. He would kill and write, then kill and kill and kill, until in the end, he took his own life, no longer crafting poems at all. All that remained was a blade wet with blood. There was once a famous singer living in a city in the Far East. However, he was no longer able to sing in his later years. A monk appeared by his side out of nowhere and whispered to the singer, "You should pick up this sword. If you kill a single person, you'll be able to sing one song. If you kill two people, you will sing two songs. Go ahead and sing some unparalleled songs." The singer picked up the sword from the monk, hid in the night, and slashed at two bystanders. The next day, the singer could produce beautiful songs and regain fame and fortune. Afterwards, the singer sang a song for each person he killed, and sang two for every two he killed. He continually attained more fame and fortune. However, his desires could no longer be suppressed. If he killed his most important person, what kind of marvelous song would be produced? And so the singer killed his wife and sang a song. He killed several of his children and sang multiple songs. He killed everyone in his family, and he sang and sang and sang. He killed so many people on the streets that he couldn't sing fast enough. He killed and killed and killed and killed. In the end, he didn't sing anything as he killed himself. All that is left is a blood-stained sword. There once was a royal sword passed down in a prodigious kingdom that had prospered for generations. It was said the crystal embedded upon it contained a great magic, and should it ever absorb the blood of 10,000 people, it would glow bright red and grant its wielder immortality. However, this kingdom's final ruler, known to the world as the High King, valued the continued prosperity of the kingdom he had inherited from his ancestors over any prospect of eternal life. One day, the queen, the king's dearest love, lost her life in a tragic accident. She was with child, and the tragedy occurred shortly before the babe was to be born. Distraught with grief upon hearing the news, the aged king found himself unable to accept the prospect of his royal bloodline dying with him. In an attempt to continue the kingdom's legacy by attaining a body without death, the now mad king used the sword to cut down any and all subordinates or citizens unlucky enough to cross his path.
If I am to be the final king,
he was heard to cry,
and then the kingdom survives, so long as I live.
He killed his subjects by the dozens, the hundreds, the thousands, and with each life he stole, the crystal's life grew more radiant. But when the crystal was nearly full, the king's alien heart proved unable to bear the burden and burst, killing him on the spot. Alas, had he just slain the pregnant woman and unborn child that were before his very eyes, he would have taken exactly 10,000 lives. A sword that has been passed down for centuries in a royal lineage of a prosperous and long-living kingdom. Legend has it that the gem in its hilt glows bright red when it absorbs the blood of 10,000 men and bestows immortality upon the bearer. The last king to wield it, however, cared less for the immortality and more for the welfare of his subjects. One day, his beloved queen passed away during childbirth, as did the child. Upon hearing that his wife and child were dead, he was stricken with grief, and coupled with his age, the royal lineage was set to die out. In his mad obsession with extending the life and the power of his country, he took up the sword and slaughtered his subjects and countrymen alike.
If I am to be the last ruler, then I shall simply never die.
Tens, hundreds, thousands of deaths at the hands of the king, and the gem was so close to reaching its full brilliance. Finally, his heart unable to take the burden any longer, the king died without reaching his goal. If he had just reached the pregnant woman in front of him,